Bismillah. Oh, yes, starting. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Welcome to Mind Heist. Episode, is it 106, I think? 106.
Welcome to an episode. Welcome to an episode.
The best episode ever.
Oh,
The best episode so far.
Isn't it nice? You know, we were just talking about food before we went on air.
Yeah.
Isn't it nice? Like, I don't want to get all romantic and lovey-dovey, but just having a partner from sort of your neck of the woods that can make, because my wife just made some baklava right now, right? Homemade. And I just tried some. And I was just like, wow, this is really truly a blessing, And you were just talking about your wife sometimes making, well, you didn't really like what your wife made, but that's just your preference, I think.
You know what? When you told me about it, when you reminded me of Karen, I actually had positive feelings about it, positive thing. So, you know what it is? When I see it, I'm like, oh. Then when I eat it, I'm like, yeah.
No, but it's true, bro. It's a blessing, Wallahi, I think, this age, especially like, when our wives are mothers, it kind of starts, they get to a certain point, bro. And I've realized this with my wife, it gets to a certain point where they're like, oh, now they're making mother's food, like their cooking's got that touch of motherly love that your mum used to make, because now obviously my kids are growing up and they're going to have these fond memories of what my wife makes. And then mashallah, may Allah increase her in goodness and your wife as well. May Allah increase them in goodness and skill. But alhamdulillah, it's a blessing. It's truly a blessing.
Yeah, man, definitely. Alhamdulillah, Alameen. Bro, you got some soft skin, soft filter.
I trimmed my mustache because it was digging into my lips, but now it makes my face look really weird. But I have put on way too much weight. It's an absolute problem.
Mashallah.
I just came back from a run because I felt so hideous. And
strong word.
Well,
strong word.
Self-loathing is what I'd call it.
Bro, you're so mad at yourself that your background lighting is orange now.
Oh, bro, I was flicking through the settings to see which color would suit my mood. But yeah, bro. Oh, mashallah. I have definitely let myself go. But alhamdulillah.
It's the baklawa, man.
I had a little bit because we're giving it away. I had a little bit just to make sure that it's, it's safe to go out there into
quality
the world.
Control.
Yeah, exactly. It's got the Rezgi household name on it. But no, bro, seriously. Oh my God. I hadn't weighed myself in a long time. I'm having a problem getting into clothes. And I thought, subhanAllah, this is bad. However, on a positive note, I am now, as we mentioned before, on a very, very regular not shift pattern, just regular. I've never had a 9-to-5 job, Akhi. Do you know what I mean? I've never had, I can't remember, because I've always worked in either, my first job, proper job with, was like Asda or something years ago. And that was a night shift. Straight away, my first job was like...
You love night shifts, bro.
I hate it, but I don't know why. I think at the time, the pay was really... Bro, I was working 1 day a week. I remember I was working 1 day a week. It was like Christmas season, so they were hiring temporary staff.
Oh, okay.
And it was
but is that still enough to throw your whole sleep schedule off for the whole week?
It did, because I was at college and I was just like... I don't know, it just messed me up for a few days. But... I remember 1 day a week, and I was working, and I would make £300 a month. And at that age, bro, when I'm living at home, I didn't have any other sort of responsibilities and stuff. Bro, that was good, man. £300 goes a long way, bro. Yeah. Honestly, for one, for 8 hours or whatever it was a night.
Yeah, bro.
So that was that. And then I worked, what did I do? At some point, I worked at my auntie's shop. She sold very eclectic furniture and stuff, but that was, you don't want to take.
Did she pay you a full wage?
I believe so. It's, I don't know if she listens to the podcast. I believe she did. I don't want to say she didn't, but it was so long, I don't really remember much of it.
Back then, bro, £300 is like £500 today.
Well, this is it. All you would spend it on is food and clothes and whatever you wanted to do. Do you know what I mean? I can't remember if that was in college or was at uni. Maybe it was, no, I think it was at college. And then at university, I don't think I worked because I didn't really, no, tell a lie. No, before university, I worked in Next. Do you remember Next Retail?
Yes. Yeah.
I worked there not too long, maybe 6 months. But But once again, you know, it's odd hours. It's not like every day is going to be the same, and it's part-time. And then I worked in Clark's. Worked there for like 4 years, bro. That was crazy. I remember when it got to like 4 years, I was like, SubhanAllah, how have I been here for 4 years? This is nuts. But that was during university and stuff.
Yeah.
But yeah, so all of my life I've been doing shift work. I've been doing, you know, and now it's like this whole 9 to 5 thing's weird, bro. I've got like an alarm at like 9:45.
Yeah.
You know, where I just boom, that's it. Get ready for bed. Go to bed.
Okay.
Do you know what I mean? Kick 10 at night. I mean,
like every day the same.
More or less, yeah. I mean, it is still very flexible because of COVID, the kind of team, and I say team in quotation marks, it's a team of 2 people. So my supervisor and me, that's about it.
Yeah.
And then we kind of liaise with other departments in the organization, but mainly, you know, it's just me and them. But because of COVID, they're working from home, and all the other sort of people that don't need to be there work from home. And when I say there, the organization spans across all of the county. So we've got pockets, you know, stations where we work at, but I just chose to not work from home because I haven't got a laptop yet. I haven't got all the systems yet. So it's easier to just go 10 minutes down to the road. But because of that, like, there's nobody like on my back for when I go in or not. Like, my supervisor said to me, oh, you can work from home if you want, blah, blah, blah. And I was like, oh, that means technically I could just get up when I want and just say, oh, I'm working from home for the first hour and then I'll go to work. Do you know what I mean? But no, I've still been getting up, you know, at the right time. Sometimes because of meetings and stuff, I can shift my hours a bit. So for example, usually I'll finish at 4, but I had a meeting that ended at 5:30 the other day. So I shifted my hours. So I started, you know, an hour and a half later. And it's very loosey-goosey and it's very, you know, but at the same time, I don't want to get into this habit of slacking off. Yeah. But at the other end of it, I don't want to get into this weird habit of like feeling like I need to do everything that I've got to do in one day. Because I think that's the weird thing about all of this. And I don't know how you sort of manage it, but you have like a set of tasks that you have to complete, but you haven't got like I'm not used to having like a project that, all these little projects that can just be done in a large amount of time. When I get sent something, I've got in my head that I have to do it that day. So I'm trying to pace myself and just put stops and be like, okay, that's enough work today. Let me go.
Yeah. You know, I've been doing for maybe 6 months now, or probably more than that, maybe 9 months, is I'm timing how long I'm actually working. Okay. So I might be quote unquote working for whatever, 8 hours, but my actual work is 5 hours, for example, right? What that does is, first, it just lets me know what I'm doing. But secondly, if I see that I've worked, for example, it depends on, you know, the busyness of the time, right? But if, let's say 5 hours, if I see I've worked 5 hours, I actually focused work for 5 hours, I can just stop working, right? Now, I haven't got good at stopping at that point yet. Because I feel like, at least recently, since I moved to a new country, I feel like I've been very unproductive. So I might, you know, try and go further than that. But I can see myself using this where it's like, when it says you've done 5 hours or whatever it is, whatever your target is, when it says that, you can just walk away from it, you know? And that also encourages me to, you know, start work earlier and be more effective with the time, you know?
Yeah.
Because in theory, if you start work at, say 7 till 12, that's 5 hours, right? So let's say, I mean, Dhuhr's not even at 12, it's like 1, whatever. So that means you could easily be done by Dhuhr, you know? So you could even, you know, maybe start at 8 instead as well. So that's, I think, a good way to manage it when you're like, you've got that full freedom of your schedule. Because my belief, and the way I got to this, bro, is you can achieve almost anything on 4 to 5 solid hours of concentrated work a day, right? Beyond that, it's actually not needed unless it's for a specific, like a certain month of the year. Maybe it's like very busy or whatever. That's what I think, you know?
Yeah. No, I think it's a whole new world, bro. It's very different. You know, even, you know, sleep is better. I mean, I say sleep is better. As soon as I got this role, Ilyas has been absolutely like, he's going through some sort of sleep regression where he's up every hour or every 2 hours or so. But, you know, I suppose that will just evolve with time. But yeah, I think it's given me an opportunity to sort of think, okay, let's pick up those lessons from Atomic Habits again. You know, let's go back to that kind of thing
whole
and
new
see.
world, like
yeah.
you said,
So this is it. So yeah, I went for a run earlier, but I'm more of a gym kind of guy. I can't deal with running. My feet are killing me. But you know, like I said, it's very bad, and I've started actually thinking, oh, you know what, this could be. I think I've completely negated the fact. You know, I'm 27, so I've had a lot of my youth is kind of like, I'm probably on the sort of the edge now of like, okay, now it's going to go downhill, you know? And I think I've negated the fact that I could possibly get very unhealthy or like diabetes or something.
I mean, like physically,
yeah.
You're at the peak or just beyond.
Yeah, or both with age and stuff. Like, because I think we rely on our youth a lot when we're young. We take advantage of it and we just think, oh, we'll recover. Like, I've never had an injury that's put me out of action, or I've never had, you know, I remember when I first started training when I was 17, you know, you didn't even stretch because your body didn't really need to, you know, you would just take risks. Like, and now I'm thinking, oh, like even earlier when I was running, I was like, oh, you know what? That felt kind of dodgy. Like my leg felt a bit dodgy there. Could I really need to like start taking precautions and maybe, you know, have a bit of a plan and not just take these big risks that you're used to taking, you know? But same with diet, same with food, same with, you know, just you're used to eating whatever. And I think these few years where it's just been like crazy shift work, night shifts, my diet has just been all over the place. Just eat whenever I can and whatever's there. That was another thing. Like we'd work in an office where like people would just bring in like sweet stuff all the time and cakes and stuff. And that was a culture, you know. And he just wouldn't think about it. But I think the main issue I had was that I was very stagnant for a long time. I've been very stagnant. I've been driving everywhere. I've been, you know, always in a car or always sat down. Now I think, because I think about like how much I'm eating, I'm like, I'm not eating as much in terms of difference in terms of what I used to. But what I realized is actually it's just my movement. I don't move anymore. You know, I don't move at all. There's no moving whatsoever.
I think since I got to Turkey, in my mind, I was eating more like sugar than before. And that might be true. I can't really tell, right? But I'm walking a lot more. And so I'm probably like healthier, fitter, etc. Than before. Because, you know, when I walk, I can't walk slowly, right? I walk fast. And so I'll be walking to the masjid. I'll get to the masjid out of breath because I just can't like walk at a normal pace. So, and the masjid is not that close actually, bro. It's like 7 minutes walk, you know? So, so it's like 7 minutes there, 7 minutes back. And on the way there, I'm definitely rushing. So that's a lot of walking, you know, if you think about it. And if you go to every salah, then it breaks up that sitting time, isn't it? So that's really good. I realized that, like the advice around sitting too long and everything. I was looking into it because I was looking into getting a standing desk. And they were saying, like, sitting all day is bad. Standing all day is bad. What is good is movement, right? And they're like, like every half hour, every hour, you got to stand up, you got to move, you got to do something. I was thinking like, okay, between Fajr and Dhuhr, that's quite a long stretch of time without Salah. But from Dhuhr onwards, like this regular Salah, you know, so you're going to like, if you go to masjid, like you're going to be getting up and all of that. So that's quite helpful as an automated thing, you know?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I really hope that, you know, lockdown restrictions are sort of eased off. They will be, inshallah, soon. I hope that maybe this Ramadan we can have a quote unquote normal Ramadan. It has last Ramadan. It was just a bit of a blur. There was no sort of engagement with the masajid. You know, a lot of it was at home and stuff. And, you know, I get the risks are there and stuff. But
all I remember from last Ramadan is trying to pray Taraweeh with my son screaming.
SubhanAllah. Yeah, it'd be interesting. I want to get Suleiman more involved with. I think he's getting at an age now where he's he's listening more and he's manageable more when we go out.
Yeah.
I think I mentioned. Did I mention it on Dad's Dunya? Might have mentioned it on Dad's Dunya, but I'll mention it here anyway. Plug. Where I sent him. He wanted the magazine from a shop, and it was beyond like the border of the checkout. And I thought I'll let him go and get one. Gave him a bit of trust, which I'm not used to doing. I'm not used to like letting go of his hand and telling him, okay, go over there, get something and bring it back. And he did, bro. And I was like, okay, that's it. You know, he's passed the test. He's getting to that age now.
He can do the weekly shopping from now on.
Yeah. But I want to expose him to the masjid a bit. It's just the masjid isn't currently like at a good place in terms of kids running around and stuff. There's a lot of regulations and a lot of like, you know. But inshallah, it'd be good. But
here, you know, I think there's a good culture here of kids can do whatever they want in the masjid. You know, kids run and shout and play, and literally no one says anything to them.
Alhamdulillah, that's really, really good.
Yeah,
that is really good. No, inshallah, that'd be good, bro. It'd be nice. Maybe one day we visit, Akhi. Do a little mind heist in Turkey. Oh, now that I've said that, my wife is going to hold me to that, bro.
Well, it's a short flight. It's a relatively cheap flight.
We've been before, but I think obviously my wife, for example, has just had a very tough time lockdown. You know, you can imagine not much is available in terms of entertainment out there. Everything's shut, and then you're stuck with two kids, and just it's like a prison. It's like a prison. I mean, you know, we have fun by going supermarket, getting some groceries, but there's nothing else. You know, there's nothing else to do. And travel as well. Like, I know everyone. Like, I know a lot of people, I'm sure, don't abide by the lockdown measures. Right? I get that, but with her family being in London, and a lot of my social circle, I suppose all of my social circle is up in London. You can't do that. You can't drive all the way up there. But yeah, I'm looking forward to it. The reason why I wasn't looking forward to it before, because of my work, but now that I'm in this other role, I'm looking forward to it. It's nice, okay, bro. I even called them up the other day. I was like, listen, Fridays, you know, I'm working and stuff, but I've been dying for an opportunity to just regularly attend Jummah, because obviously this whole few years I haven't been a regular sort of attendee because of work and stuff. But they were like, yeah, sure, no problem, blah, blah, blah. I was like, sweet. So, bro, I just carry my two phones with me, got my work phone, my own phone. If that work phone rings, fair enough.
Very good, bro. Surah Al-Kahf 3 times.
MashaAllah. Why not? Alhamdulillah. It's interesting, akhi. It's interesting.
By the way, bro, since we deleted, that episode 104, we could kind of, if you have any questions around Turkey and stuff, you could ask me on this episode.
Yeah?
We're on the topic, think. You know.
Poor Kaya, bro. Oh, I'm going to replace him.
I mean, I guess it's like, if you're curious about stuff, or I think you said we got questions about it, but were they just saying, where is it gone? Or
possibly, yeah, I think so. Let me check our little, I haven't had a look this week.
Okay.
Bro, somebody, I need to mention this. Mr. Faisal Chowdhury he must have put a clip up of some video that we did together on his YouTube.
Yeah.
And I was looking at the comments. I don't usually look at the comments, but like there was like this barrage of comments saying that I look like a fusion between Ali Dawah and Mohammed Hijab, and I just lost it, bro. I just lost it, you know.
I'm kind of struggling to see that.
You're struggling. So you know what? I don't know. I see a bit of Mohammed Hijab, but I don't know about Ali, but Allah bless them both, bro. But I don't know. I just felt a bit like... Anyway, I think they're both older than me, so I'll respect them in that sense. But
Mohammed Hijab is younger than you, I think.
No.
It's not. It's not.
You sure? I saw it. I met him once or twice a long time ago. But no, not like, I don't know him like that. Not to ask him his age. But anyway, I'm going all over the place. What was I looking at? Questions, wasn't I? Yes. Oh, no, it was just somebody asking, I'll ask it now, but was wondering the old episode 104 was taken down permanently. The topic seemed extremely beneficial since I wanted to make Hijra soon, inshallah. Yeah. Isn't there any way we can put an audio version where we just cut out the is there a particular...
The offensive part. I think...
Have a consideration.
I think basically not really, because
is it a general thing?
It's not, I don't know, bro. It's like not a specific part we took out. I think it's
Okay,
just like
that's fine then.
general. But we can do it again. But instead of him asking, you can ask me.
Okay.
Because I know, because we were talking about Turkey and UAE, and I know both of them. So
Yeah.
you know.
Well, we haven't done a proper one. Let's think of some questions. Let me think. Turkey. Turkey.
I think there was the element just of like Turkey, what's it like? But then what we tried to do, bro, is go into the details of the process of coming here.
Well, let me ask you this then, because everybody loves Turkey, right? Everybody's like, everyone likes it as a Muslim country, a place to visit. What are the challenges you faced, bro? What challenges? Because Hijra is always made to be, a beautiful thing, and it is a beautiful thing. And you're not necessarily making a Hijra. You're going from one Muslim country to another. What challenges have you faced going over there, especially considering you don't speak the language?
Yeah, the main challenge coming here, it pretty much is the language, I would say. But again, if you have the long-term view, then you wouldn't see it as a challenge, because you just say, look, it's a matter of time until I speak it, right? And alhamdulillah, I've made like progress without really trying. I've made progress, so that's good. I met a guy the other day. He's been back and forth, to Turkey for many years, but he's lived here 2 years now, like full time. And he's Palestinian. He speaks really well, bro. Like, I was like, okay, that could be me, inshallah, in a year or two. So the language is one. I think there's definitely a strong, I don't know how to describe it, but there's definitely a nationalism about Turkey. And so I think the average Turk, what I understand right now anyway, is that the average Turk, they're like, look, my brothers, if you like, if I'm to describe it this way, my brothers are Turks. Those are my brothers. It's not necessarily the Ummah is my brothers, So they have like, they do have the whole Muslim connection, but it's like, look, we're Turks. And it's like a very nationalistic thing. And so, of course, if you're not Turkish, then it's a bit different. Now, the more religious leaning Turks, obviously, they're a bit different, but they also might be a bit more rare. And I think this is normal because of the whole education system is all about teaching them like Ottoman history, Turkish history, Ataturk this. And so, and they've been really kind of shut off from the rest of the Muslim world for a while. So that's kind of why. But it is a challenge, because I feel like if I went to Pakistan, if I went to try to think of a non-Arab Muslim country, Malaysia or whatever, right? I feel like there would be a stronger feeling of like we're brothers. But here, I don't know. Maybe it's an Istanbul thing. It could be an Istanbul thing, because you know how it's like in big cities, people are a bit colder, a bit this and that. But specifically, sometimes I have negative thing towards Arabs. Again, probably because of the whole, either because of the Syrian, all the refugees and this and that, or some of the Gulf people come from the Gulf, and sometimes their behavior isn't the best, maybe, or something. So, and also there's bitterness, bro, from when the whole Arab, what do they call it, the Arab revolt or rebellion, right? When they left the Ottoman Empire. So they learn about that.
I felt a bit of that when I was there.
But you just got to make it clear you're not from Syria or the Gulf, and then it's different.
Really? Okay.
Yeah.
I can't remember what it was. I noticed that. Oh, it was someone was trying to sell me some sort of what was it? It was some sort of ornament, right? It was like armor. So it was like it was about this big. There was like some ornament of armor, and it was like all of it had calligraphy of some sort of, I don't know, some sort of religious thing. I can't remember if it was like Quran or hadith or some sort of dua. Anyway, it was something that I was like, oh, I wouldn't have that. I can't remember what it was. Either it was like some sort of innovation or something. Anyway, he comes up to me, goes, he's out of the blue. He was like, the Wahhabis say you can't have it. The Wahhabis say you can't have it, but it's fine. It's not a problem. I just burst out laughing. I was like, this is really awkward. But so that's like that whole sort of, I don't know if he was just saying that because it was me, but at the same time, I remember like walking through the city, and obviously I don't understand Turkish at all, but like every now and again, I just hear this like someone was speaking some North African dialect. I remember hearing some Tunisian somewhere, Algerian and stuff. And I was like, oh my God, this is where the North Africans come to holiday, And a lot of the Muslim world come to holiday there. Those that can't necessarily get into Europe, they'll come to Turkey, I think, as a holiday. And there is definitely, at least in North Africa, and I'm sure you probably agree, there is definitely this sort of fascination and attraction of Turkey. I think a lot of it came from Turkish TV series and soaps and stuff. I remember being very young and like my auntie in Tunisia watching Turkish shows. They're very much glued to that culture. So it's a bit of like a...
Even before that, I think every Arab country looks to Turkey and thinks that we could have been that. We could... Like they kind of want to emulate what they've done.
Would you say just North African countries, or would you say all Arab countries?
Yeah, I mean, even Jordan, Syria, Lebanon.
Really?
Yeah, the Gulf may be slightly different, but yeah, I would say everyone, apart from the haters, obviously, but that's a minority.
What else did I want to ask?
Because, bro, remember, I didn't know this until a few months ago, but Turkey, like, let me think, in the 70s, for example, Turkey was a disaster, bro. It was a flop, bro. They didn't have good electricity. They didn't have running water properly. It was a mess. It was really a mess. And it's like they've gone from there to, what you would say is top standard in most things.
Okay.
Whereas, like Algeria, yes, it has improved a lot, but it's still a different level.
Right.
And so it's like, what's the difference? Turkey also had many military coups,
right.
but somehow they overcame that. And it's like, I think for Arabs, it's like, that is possible. Like, look, they did it. Like, why can't we do it?
I've always felt that the biggest thing that holds us back is, I don't want to speak about higher up stuff because I don't know what that stuff looks like, right? Issues with higher up government. I don't know. I don't see that. But what I do see is low level corruption, right? So corruption that starts on like the day to day. You just want to get one thing done, right? You want to go to, I don't know, the government office, the post office, the whatever, just to get something done. And you can't get through anything without some delay, some bribery, and I feel like it's a rampant disease within our countries. And I don't know about Zayed, but I could speak for Tunisia, I could speak for Morocco, well, mainly Tunisia, bro. And I don't think it's going to be any different anywhere else. But this sort of like, everybody wants to get paid, but they also want to get their bonus, which is the handout from everyone else. And I think that just holds societies back because, if this person is doing it to me, then I'm sure his supervisor is doing it to me, is doing it to someone else, and I'm sure the person above him, and then you've got it's just a chain reaction. I remember Morocco, like the Moroccan king came out like with some big campaigns to sort of end corruption and stuff. I don't know how that's going on. It was like, I remember there was adverts about it. There was adverts about standing up against like Rashwa, bribery, that kind of stuff. But I don't know how that's getting on, but definitely, bro, because you can imagine how much money just gets out of the people's hands and they can't live and they can't do anything with it.
The silent consequence of that is that people stop being bothered to take initiative to do things, right? So it's like, I think my cousin was telling me the government's giving out farmland for anyone who wants to like work on the land, right?
Yep.
So he wanted to take them up on that, but guess what? Bribery is in the way. So in his case, he didn't want anything to do with bribery, so he just never got it. But then when he tells his friend that, his friend might not even bother to try stuff because it's like there's no hope. Like every way is blocked.
Is that anything you've experienced there?
Look, bro, Turkey is definitely different in that way. It's not bribery. I have not seen anything about bribery. Okay, I think it seems like it's very rare. When it comes to getting stuff done at government things, it's not UK level. Although it's hard to compare because I'm a British citizen, right? Which means everything will be smooth. Whereas when you're a foreigner, it's always going to be harder, no matter what country you're in. Right. However, I would say it's smooth here. It's good. Yeah. Like people just do their job, and that's the difference. Like that's a big reason is Turks work harder than Arabs. Right. I just say that. So it's fine. So that's why they that's why I think one of the reasons they've got to where they are is because they do actually just put the work in, and they like to follow like whatever process is in place. They like to follow it. So they don't try and like, oh, work starts at, 11, but I'll come in at 12 or whatever, or take an extra break, or they're not like German level or UK level of like rigidness and strictness. They're not like that. They're still Mediterraneans. They're still, but way better than the Arab world from what I've seen. And even like better than UAE, I would say. Like I was thinking, what would be easier for me to get my internet set up in Turkey, not knowing Turkish, or in UAE where everything's English or Arabic and I know that? And I would say Turkey was quicker, easier, smoother.
Wow.
And I don't know Turkish.
Yeah, of course.
And that's just because they follow the process and they work hard.
Yeah, that's interesting, because I've always had it like in my head that, once again, there's that element of rashwa, there's that element of bribery, but there's also the element of like the people like you can't get anything done unless you know somebody who knows somebody. And also I've noticed, and I get this vibe anyway. I mean, I see it from the people that I know and my family are connected to, but also I get the vibe that like all of these people that are in positions of any sort of authority, not necessarily just authority, but like in any sort of government or like societal body, like the post offices, like the what other stuff, like the Diwan, all these other places, they all sort of have their positions because they are relatives of somebody or friend of somebody or whatever. Like
nepotism.
I don't think people get to where they are because they've seen an application, they're a complete nobody, they've got the grades, they've got the, do you know what I mean? They apply and then it's like, oh yes, you're good for the job. Hello, welcome. No, it's because my uncle works here and he got me a job. So because of that, there is no accountability. People just feel like they can just, and I remember getting this vibe, like, subhanAllah, I remember my mum telling me about this time where my grandmother was in hospital over there, and like, I can't remember the story, but basically the vibe that the nurses were giving off were like they just couldn't be bothered. So they were just sitting there, like my gran couldn't get up off the bed, or she fell off the bed or something like that. And they were just sitting there chewing gum or whatever. Because the vibe it gives me is like, oh, my uncle owns this hospital. So I just, I just come here and get my wages and go home. Do you get me? And that's the kind of vibe I get. It's like they have no, there isn't this risk that they could lose their job because of their behavior or their poor service.
Accountability is a big one, bro.
Honestly, I remember being in the Tunisian airport, and I remember like, subhanAllah, I had the worst time traveling when I was trying to get to Algeria from Tunisia. But a lot of things happened. One of the things that had happened was like the screen of the gate, so where I had to wait, it came up with like, let's say, for example, gate 8, right? So I was, okay, so let's go to gate 8. So I went to gate 8, and then I was sat there for ages, and then I could still see it said gate 8 Tunisia, and then it went off, but nobody was there. And I was like, oh, what's going on? And then like it was getting to, let's say 6:30 when the plane was meant to go. It got to like 6:20 and it was like, there's nobody here. And the gates anyway. So I went and asked the police officer, whoever it is that works there. And I was like, can you help me? Blah, blah, blah. He goes, oh, that plane's already gone. So what are you talking about? He goes, no, that's it. You got to figure out yourself. And he just went off. I was like, you've got to be joking. Like, what kind of service is this? Anyway, I'm losing my mind, bro. Like, I'm going nuts. I was having the worst time. Anyway, I figured out on my own, like a lot later, that they basically, there was some stupid mistake. The plane got delayed and they moved the gate to another gate, but they didn't say. And like people just figured it out, but a couple of us didn't know. But every single officer or whatever I went to just didn't care, didn't want to tell me anything, and just kept telling me the plane's gone. Do you know what I mean? Nobody wanted to check it or ask or whatever. And it just, once again, it gives me that vibe. Like people just work here because they know someone. They just show up, and they probably show up really late anyway. I remember there was, I went to get my passport done at some government building, and the woman that helped me was like my neighbor's wife, or my neighbor who's also like my dad's cousin or something. Anyway, some relative. But like, I remember we were waiting for her to show up just so we could get things done, so we could get somebody who knew. Do you know what I mean? And I was like, I remember asking my dad, I was like, what time is she meant to work? It's like midday. She's still not here. And she goes, oh yeah, I'm running late. I had to do this and this. I was like, yeah, but you work 9 to 5, like it's almost 1 o'clock. And I remember she just didn't care. I was like, subhanAllah, like these people just, no wonder nothing gets done, because from the low level, people don't care, let alone for the high level.
Yeah.
There's that culture that doesn't exist. And, you know, it's nice to hear that Turkey has a bit more of that efficiency.
Yeah.
But
And just work. Yeah.
Yeah.
Even, bro, people queue here, which is
Wow.
weird, you know?
Wow.
Yeah.
Do you think there's, I suppose, you know, technically there's that Europeanness, you know, that may have sort of injected itself. But also, I think, you know, maybe, you know, Turkey was an entire empire. It's going to have some sort of regulation and some sort of, you know, I know
you can't run the Ottoman Empire without some level of order and discipline and work ethic, innit? Can't
definitely,
do.
definitely.
And they probably have, wherever they got that from. I mean, remember, bro, the Turks originally, they're like shepherds, right? And, you know, obviously anyone old school, like from hundreds of years ago, they got that work ethic and stuff, right? But then they built the whole empire and stuff, and they passed it down and passed it down and passed it down. They never lost the connection because they were never colonized, you know? So even though the Ottoman Empire became Turkey, they still passed on that knowledge of how things get done, I guess.
Yeah.
So that's a big deal, I suppose. Yeah. And they still have that pride, you know, that, we're the Ottomans.
And I think there is that massive difference, isn't there, between countries that were colonized, and even, you know, even the post-colonial effect of it all is still very much like, you know, they may have left, but they've definitely weakened the backbone, and they've definitely
they leave the little booby traps, basically.
Oh yeah, exactly. It's like they've snapped their legs before they leave. They've snapped the people's legs before they leave, and then incapacitated them for many, many years, and kept them still wanting and still needing the colonizers, so to speak.
Yeah, and imagine a country where that doesn't exist, you know, which is here. They have certain things, like there is this Treaty of Lausanne, which is like 100-year treaty where Turkey's not allowed, for example, to look for oil, I think, and a few things.
Right.
There are a few of those things which they kind of they were forced to agree to because they were nearly,
in that position.
They were, you know, invaded by Britain and, one second, by Britain, France, Greece, etc. They were invaded, and it was difficult, bro, and they beat them back. And that's why they love Ataturk, because Ataturk led that victory kind of thing. It was very impressive. So they gained back a lot of land, and but then they still, you know, were in a difficult situation. So they signed this treaty. So that's one thing which maybe hold them back a bit, but they kept the most, like 90 whatever % of the land. So it's interesting, bro. Like, history is always interesting, and especially when, you know, like me and you, we might come from a paradigm where it's like, oh, every Muslim country was colonized and all of our history is like that. But it's not true, is it? It's like Turkey wasn't colonized. Malaysia, I suppose, was in a way. And then you have like the Gulf, which was not like colonized, but it was like a mandate. So what's the difference? It was we have slightly different, you know, histories, and that has an effect, you know. But bro, in terms of difficulty, like there's just the language. There's a bit of, you know, you feel you're an outsider because the minorities here are, you know, it's like Turkey's like everyone is Turkish pretty much, you know. But it helps to like live where I live, where there's loads of foreigners here, so that helps for sure. And then, you know, when you move to a new country, you got to set yourself up. You got to spend a lot of money initially, so that's, you know, that's tricky. I think that's it so far. Alhamdulillah, you know, Hijra has been way harder in the past, you know, or for different people.
What about, so I think that obviously there's a lot of sisters that listen, and there's a lot of wives that listen, you know, husbands, and they may be thinking about Hijra, but has your wife found difficulty like meeting people as well? I mean, I know you've said you've met people and stuff, but has there been issues in terms of like just, you know, the female side of things? Is it easy for women to sort of get involved with anything, or there
things? Relax, because you're a minority, people they want to find other friends and other like-minded people. So like, I could have been in UAE 10 years and I might not have known the amount of people I know now after, it's not even 10 months. It's like 10 weeks, closer to 10 weeks.
Where does that happen? Is that like with the masajid, or is it, how are you practically doing that?
So there are some WhatsApp groups.
Okay.
Where everyone's like, it's like, I guess, English speakers who are moving to Turkey, or they want to move to Turkey, or they're in Turkey. So there's those kind of things. And then there is, I already knew a couple of people here when I came. So then they naturally can introduce me to people. But I've tried to be a catalyst as well. I tried to like bring people together, and because the number one reason I came here is for community. Is to find like-minded people that my wife, kids, and stuff can mix with, and can have like what I would call a proper upbringing, where you've got friends. The friends are not moving every year. I have a new friend. He's gone 2 years later, 3 years, because that's what's like in the Gulf and stuff. And community, and where there's freedom to like do what you want. If you want to do halaqah, if you want to, there's like institutes. If you want to do basketball, whatever it is.
Oh wow, brilliant.
There's freedom. So that's what I came here for, mostly for the community aspect. And you do find that, alhamdulillah. Definitely, yeah. So it's maybe easier for the women actually, because I don't know, bro. I have found. I think some of the men are, I feel, less sociable naturally. And they don't have the kids with them a lot of the time. So they maybe they just do their work and they get a bit lazy and they just want to like watch TV or whatever. Right. But the women, naturally, they want to meet others. Maybe they're at home more, etc. So they want to, have reason to meet others. And then they know the kids need to meet each other. That's important. So, yeah.
No, that's good. I remember you reminded me about the WhatsApp group thing. I remember once I was on Reddit. Don't know if you ever use Reddit, but I remember going on like the Tunisia page or whatever.
Okay.
And I thought, you know what?
The wrong type of people.
Yeah.
There.
Well, I put on. Sorry, you made me laugh because I put up a long post about thinking about moving there, what it'd be like, blah blah blah. Wallahi, and I described obviously what we're about, Wallahi, I kid you not, it was like 99% of people that were commenting there were just abusing me.
Yeah,
because they did not want anyone, that was religious or whatever to, and I was really hoping. Yeah. I mean, maybe Reddit's the wrong place, but I was hoping, there's a page here about Tunisia on Reddit, and it's got quite a lot of, thousands of people. Surely, no. Oh, bro, it was awful. Yeah. And I was just, it really, unfortunately, it kind of put me off. Like,
I mean, there's something about the English language, when people, they meet up or they connect in a forum where it's English language, you might find more of those kind of secular types, if you like,
Yeah, that's right. There's like this kind of bourgeoisie sort of.
Like even the Istanbul one on Reddit, I think it might be like that as well.
Really?
You get the same feedback.
It's awful, isn't it? Like, and I'll be honest, it wasn't like, I think it was more about what our appearance was, as opposed to, I said, we're practicing Muslims, blah, blah, blah. My wife wears this and I look like this and blah, blah. It was just to get a feel. But at the same time, I remember being in those circles. I come from quite a rural place in Tunisia, but I remember once going to a more touristic place and like with friends, I say friends, but maybe friends from the UK. So my dad has a friend here. His sons, we kind of know each other. We've got friends of friends. I remember once we all met up in Tunisia, right? And he lives in a very sort of touristic, bourgeoisie sort of area, bro. I remember like there was loads of kids there that all spoke English. And they were all like talking about streaming video games and all these, and that, bro, all of this stuff, bro, is completely foreign to where I'm from in the village, right? Yeah. Like video games and computer specs and, do you know what I mean? Graphics cards and all these discussions they were talking about. And I was like, you never get this back where I'm from. Like, this is the future, right? But yeah, there was this very like kind of aura of like, oh, we're better than everybody sort of thing. And we speak English and we're this and we're that. And, the deen was very much, it wasn't Ramadan, so maybe they were better than normal. But, you get the vibe that it's not always like this kind of thing. But yeah, I don't like that, But inshallah, it sounds good that if there's that sort of, there's those communities there, then alhamdulillah, if it's easy to get involved in stuff. Because I think isolation is very dangerous, isn't it? Especially, it's easy if it's your kind of passion to move there, but obviously you're taking your family, your wife with you, and I don't think you'd want your wife to feel isolated, so far from any family of hers, so far from any sort of friends that she may know and stuff. And
of course,
social media and the internet can only do so much in terms of connecting with people.
Yeah.
So alhamdulillah, I'm really happy that that's kind of working out.
Yeah, I recommend that if you're looking to move somewhere, I think honestly it's a bit superficial to just ask yourself like, how Islamic is the place? And it's like, what does that even mean? And are you looking at the superficial side or the deeper side and all that? But like, don't just look at that. Look at, am I going to find like-minded people? That is the number one thing, because, it's crazy. Like a year or two ago, I would have said Turkey. Oh, that's like fully secular. Like, right. Why would anyone like move to Turkey to improve their kind of religion or to find religious people? But that's where what the important thing that I've realized is, it's not about the country. Like, Algeria is huge, it's the biggest country in Africa. Turkey is huge. Pakistan is huge. It's about the locality in which you live. That is what's going to be very, very important. So make these decisions based on not if the country is religious, whatever that means, or if the country you might find people. It's about the locality where you're going to live. Will it be better for your, iman, for your worship? Will it be better to find more like-minded, good people? That is a better way to think about it. That's what I've realized.
I think the only caveat to that would be, for me, like my concern, and because of what I've experienced in Tunisia, is like, can I just practice in peace? The benefits of a Muslim country speak for themselves. It's like, okay, all the meat is halal, right? And I don't have to worry too much about what I'm eating, and the masajid are open and I can pray in them, right?
Yeah.
But it's about my day-to-day sort of, like, I'm not, when I think Hijra, I'm not thinking like, I'm going to go and start giving dawah on the streets of Turkey or Tunisia or Algeria, and I'm going to start making YouTube. You know what I mean? I'm not thinking like that. I'm just talking about like living my life normal day to day, right? And there is, at least for me, and I don't know, it's because Tunisia has shaped warped my mind when it comes to it all. But like practicing in peace is very difficult, I still have to this week, Akhi. Was it this week? What day are we? We're Saturday. Yeah, so it would have been this week. I've had, people so family members in Tunisia, like, getting in touch with my dad, advising him to tell me to not come to Tunisia with my beard if I'm going to go there. If anything happens and I have to go, like, obviously my dad's ill and stuff, so we make our plans and we make our sort of arrangements and stuff. But if anything happens, tell him, I had somebody. So
resume your story.
Okay, I was just saying, yeah. So I've got a relative who sort of works in some sort of authority agency in Tunisia, or whatever, and he was just telling my dad to tell me that if I come to Tunisia to shave my beard, because they're kind of like rounding people up and all this other stuff, and this is how they treat them. And it's just like, that's the stress that you don't need. You just want to go practice in peace,
Yeah.
And that's it really. Like,
Yeah. So on the country level, you want, like, you could call it freedom if you like, right?
Yeah, you just want to be tolerated, and you don't want to be, you don't want a fuss to be made. Like, I get the airport thing, right? There's always issues at airports, right? And I don't know if you had that going in and out of Turkey. I definitely did when I went to Turkey, but that was a while ago. But you just want your day-to-day to be without prejudice. You want to be able to just walk in the street and not necessarily get glared at. You want to be able to go into a building and not like have people take the mic. You want to go and do your government documents, wherever it is, renew your passport, wherever it is, and not be just ridiculed or not be banned or not be whatever. Like, I remember going in to get my passport done, and there was like police checkpoints. I remember him telling the guy with me, "Oh, you can go in, but you can't." You know what I mean? Stuff like that. Yeah. And it's just like, what threat am I? I haven't done anything. Like, but yeah, so that's the concern I have. But I don't know if that's just because
that's like low standards though, bro. Like you can inshallah find that in many, many Muslim countries. But the next level above that is like when you're going about your day-to-day stuff, like people give you respect because you got a beard, or there's loads of women with niqab. Or when you go to the masjid, like you get into conversations with people, or you can bring your kids and they see other kids there because people are religious and they want to bring their kids to the masjid.
This is it. Like, you know, I will say that I do believe there's a lot of Muslims in the UK and Europe that are very naive to how it is in Muslim countries. They may think that, especially those that have never been, you know, or lived in a Muslim country, they may think, oh, it's a Muslim country, it's fine. Like, what I say isn't something that is foreign to any other Muslim country, right? I have a friend that moved to Egypt, same thing, same battle, same struggles, right?
Yeah.
I've had, you know, even, you know, I'm sure in Zayed, there's similar, I mean, yeah, I've definitely, since marrying my wife, she's told me stories of her uncles who went through similar things and worse things, I could say, in Zayed, you know, but maybe not now, but it definitely happened in the past. I don't know about now.
Yeah.
But, you know, and this is like, I remember explaining this, subhanAllah, I remember explaining this to non-Muslims at work.
Yeah.
So I spoke about my experiences in Tunisia to non-Muslim, and they just couldn't figure it out. They were like, why would they do that? It's a Muslim country. I don't understand. Because it would never happen here. You know, the stuff that they talk about would never happen here unless they had some sort of slither of reason to, right? Like maybe you do have some sort of dodgy connections, or maybe there is something linked to your history and it makes you a bit, but like, you know, plucking you out of the street randomly, Allah knows best. So yeah, I don't want people to be naive, and I think that's why I'm asking that question. You know, is your day-to-day affected? Do you feel like there are eyes on you because of your beard? Do you feel this kind of? You understand what I mean?
The place I'm living, there are people living in this area. How do I describe it? Basically, if they wanted to, there's about 10,000 people they'd go after before me. Let me just say it like that. Let me just say it like that.
Alhamdulillah.
So yeah, I mean, bro, that's what I'm saying. There are countries, Tunisia, Egypt, these kind of countries, they're not one of them. But there are countries where it's generally free. Like Algeria, for example, yeah? Algeria, some people, they kind of have a bit of a negative feeling towards someone like with a big beard or whatever, right? Because of the history.
Right.
Right. But as a country, Algeria generally doesn't get involved too much in people's personal things.
True.
Right. As a country. So whether you're communist, atheist, Muslim, Salafi, Sufi, they really don't care. Right. So that I'm not saying they're Islamic. I'm saying they just leave people alone. Right.
Yeah.
Turkey is the same thing. They generally just leave people alone. Right. And then I get the feeling, I get the sense that, for example, Pakistan as well, they just leave people alone. But there are countries like the Gulf, like Egypt, where they're very hardcore about controlling people. And they're very like, you know, it's that post 9/11, like, let's show the West that we're even more counterterrorism than they are and all that.
And that's what, you know, that is the struggle. But you know what, you're right. Like I remember, you know, when I go to Morocco, Akhi, I haven't, you know, I walk around in Morocco, I went to Morocco, you know, airports, whatever, and I just felt relaxed, bro. I felt calm. You know, didn't feel like there was any issues. Same with Zayed. But when I first went to Zayed, I just had all those issues I just named to you, all those issues in Tunisia just to get to Zayed because I was trying to get my passport done, all this stuff. And I had like 10 days or whatever in Tunisia and it just went nuts. Worst time I've ever had. And I just wanted to get to Zayed. But I was also like, I've never been to Zayed before. I'm going on my own and I just don't know what to expect when I get there. Really didn't know. And I remember landing, bro, and I just thought, subhanAllah, here we go. I remember going up to the security desk, you know, to give my passport. And Akhi, he just treated me with respect. And it was just like, I think he may have asked me if I've ever been, like, why are you here, sort of thing. I said, oh, my wife and, you know, my family are here. I just wanted to, the first time I've come in. And Habiyya, you know, he said, you know, welcomed me and stuff. And I was just like, bro, like, it was just calm, you know. And then even then, when I was there, you know, walking around in the streets, not a problem. Especially the area that they were living in, you know, there was people in thobes, people with beards. It was just nice, you know, it was calm. And I just felt like I stood out. I felt like I just blended in with everybody else. And it's nice, you know, it was nice. And that's that's basically the beauty that I'm looking for when it comes to a Muslim country. If you can do that, you know, if you can do that in Turkey or any other Muslim country, that's what, you know, that's kind of what you're chasing. And it's a shame, you know, it's a shame that we've got countries, Akhi, where, you know, they fast Ramadan, they've got the adhan playing every salat, but still you're like made to feel like a suspect whenever you're walking down the street, you know?
Yeah, that's true, man. But yeah, I think you got to also know the red lines of the country you're going to. right?
Of course.
So like there are some people who are saying, oh, I want to move to Turkey and I want to buy like land in the middle of nowhere and like set up my little like a village where like other people can do hijra to and we'll all be together. It's like a bunch of foreigners trying to buy land and set up their own separate thing. Like that's going to look dodgy, you know?
Yeah, of course.
So you got to know like the red lines, you know, or for
and
example,
also like,
if you're in, I don't know, I'm trying to think of the equivalent in Algeria. Obviously, anything to do with violence, that's off the, you know, off the menu, if you like. Like, don't talk about it, don't this, don't that.
But it's about keeping your head down and just, you know, you're going there to fulfill what some people believe is an obligation, you know, moving to a Muslim country and being amongst Muslims. But that's it. You're not going there to start some sort of revival. You're going there to be amongst the Muslims.
I mean, some people do, bro, as well. Like many people came to Turkey because they feel like we can do dawah freely from here, right? And what they do is there are many like YouTubers, for example, Egyptian YouTubers who they basically escape Egypt and they make video every single day. They have a studio out here and they're making videos like to the Egyptian audience, people living in Egypt from here, from the safety of here, right? And they came here for that reason because they're free here, right?
But also,
so some people did that, like had that objective, you know.
But you're not necessarily. I mean, yes, Egypt and Turkey could strike a deal and take that person out, but you're not necessarily trying to disrupt the status quo of Turkey, you know. And I think that's what, you know, exactly. Yeah, and I think that's what's important.
Don't do that. Even some people said, I want to come to Turkey, do hijrah to Turkey to do da'wah. It's like, no way, man. Like, learn the language, learn the culture, learn the history.
Yeah, you have to. Yeah, you have to integrate. You have to. You come into a Muslim country, you're going to integrate because, especially at that, you're on the back foot. You're on many back feet. Like you're far back on the foot. You have no control. You can't, and you haven't got the safety and security of your rights that you're going to know and the law and this and that. And even, you know, even here that can be taken advantage of. But at least here, you've grown up. You know, for example, if you're from the UK, you've grown up in the UK, you understand what's right, what's wrong, what's acceptable, what isn't, what's normal, and what isn't. You know, you don't want to just get snatched away in Turkey. Just getting the SWAT team in your house or making some silly YouTube video. But yeah, keeping your head down and just getting on. You know, you go in there as a family man, as a man with kids, and you've got a lot to lose. You know, and it's not one of those things where you're young and you can just sort of be reckless and, you know, go from place to place. You have to think more about your responsibilities and, you know, those that are dependent on you. Like that was my biggest fear, is like, I don't want to go somewhere and then I just get snatched up and then my wife hasn't got me, you know, my kids are without a dad and God knows, you know. I remember subhanAllah, like my friend, I probably mentioned this on Mind Heist before, but my friend in Egypt, you know, he went out there and he had issues because, you know, I don't know how much of it is to do with his appearance, but he had a big beard and stuff, and there was issues about his beard and whatever. But like, because of bribery, like we said, and because of maybe something to do with his appearance and his religiosity, he had an issue with a neighbor about land, and the guy shkebi, so he went to the police and reported him for something that he couldn't have possibly done because he was in the UK when it was reported. So when he went back to Egypt, he just got put. They sentenced him to prison for 3 months. I don't know if he served it or not. I need to ask him, but they sentenced him. So it might have been like, you either go to prison or pay a fine. I can't remember, but I need to ask him because I never actually asked. Because I remember him, last thing he told me was like, I might as well just do it because it's gonna, like, I can prove that I wasn't there, but they're not going to listen because he's already been bribed, you know. And it was just like, subhanAllah, like that stuff can just happen. You know, in these, you know, and I think I don't want Muslims that are considering hijrah to be naive to unfortunately the lack of logistics and legislation and just the normative sort of thing that we're used to. Like, you can't go into the court here and pay somebody $1,000 and be like, listen, I'm about to report someone, do me a solid. That would never happen, you know, never happen. At least not on the low level. You know, not on low level stuff. Of course, we've got scandals now about Boris Johnson and the flipping, the COVID relief sort of packages and the contracts and all of that and all that sort of stuff. Fair play.
Only the big boys can do Rashwa.
Yeah. But low level, the day to day, which affects you and me, which affects our families, that can't be done. But you got to be careful. You know?
But I think, we got to make this episode positive, bro.
Oh, no, I know. No, but this is what I'm saying. The positive is like what I'm saying, is what we said. The comfort, the ease, and that's what we're highlighting with Turkey, at least. We're using Turkey as an example because that's where you are. But it sounds to me that where you are, at least, and the experience that you're having it's been a very positive one. And you're not alone, and you've got good connections, alhamdulillah. And, and I wouldn't say that if anybody wanted to, you can speak for yourself, but I'm sure if anybody is serious thinking about going over there, that they could probably send us an email and get in touch with yourself. And if they wanted advice and stuff, and if they're super, super serious, even to discuss where you are and how you did it and all of that stuff, bro, you could even write a little ebook, bro, a little Hijra to Turkey ebook, bro. I'm sure people would eat that up. Yeah. But inshallah, we'll see. Let us know. If
all you need is... Yeah, definitely send those emails through. Inshallah, we can answer some of the practical stuff. To come here, really, you'll easily find all the information you need, just by talking to someone who get into one of these groups. You'll find a lot of the answers. You'll find the full answers by coming here for however long you can to check it out. And not to a tourist area, but to the area that you're looking to live in. And then the only other thing you need before coming here, I guess, is obviously your source of income. You need to work that out. Yeah. That's probably the hardest thing to work out. But actually, if you have that, moving here it's been quite smooth for me, at least. And it could have been smoother because of Corona. The visa process has been quite long and stuff like that, but normally it's shorter than that. So that's what you need to think about if you're coming here specifically. Obviously, it's good to go to a place where you're a passport holder, and then you don't need to do visa, and you've got the same rights as the citizens, and you're fully a citizen, everything. That's good as well. I think probably that should be your first... your plan A should be go wherever you've got a passport, probably. And remember, don't think oh, I went to this one place in Pakistan and no one was religious and I'm not going to move there. No, Pakistan's a huge country. You might find certain areas. So it's all about the area. It's not about the country per se, except for the freedom thing that we discussed. So just make sure obviously your source of income, source of income, then come to the country for if you can 2 weeks or a month or whatever, check out the local area, try and meet people in the local area and make connections, and then you can get real answers from people experienced. And then it's, then try and maybe get your parents on board or something. I was asking one guy here, his parents moved here with him and stuff. And I said, how did you do it? He said, I told them, look, I'm going to Turkey. So come, he said it, he did it like that because otherwise there's no, he said, there's no, just simple, easy way of doing it. Persuading them is very hard. I think in his case, he was the only son. So he's the one who they might live with, and he might take care of them more than them going to their daughter's place, right? Married daughter and everything. So it was there was that push for them to come here. And his dad came here. His dad passed away here, Allah yarhamu, and his mom's still here with him, So parents is a big deal, definitely. But then again, it's if you're somewhere like Turkey or somewhere like Morocco, it's it's close to the UK, for example. I think if you're in the US, it's difficult because nowhere's close to the US. Yeah. But try and, I don't know, sometimes you just got to bring them here and say, look, just come for a month. I'm inviting you for a month. And then they'll really like it, or come here. For example, Somali, if you're Somali, come here, you'll meet loads of Somalis and say, look, there's loads of Somalis here. Then your parents might come through, So sometimes like that as well.
Inshallah. Why not? Alhamdulillah. Barakallahu feek for sharing, bro. I'm running out of time. Oh no. I'm basically only eating until I'm doing some intermittent fasting thing, some 1 to 8. But I've only got 20 minutes. So I'm
20 minutes to eat.
Yeah.
So you eat 1 to 8.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah. So I skip breakfast and all of that. 1 p.m. to 8 p.m.
Ah, yes.
Get me?
Okay, 7 hours window. Yes.
Yeah.
That's solid. That's
I've
a
only
lot.
had one meal today, and I kind of want to eat, bro.
Yeah, go and eat, bro. Have some
Barakallahu
gariwish.
feek.
Have some baklava.
Oh no, I don't want to ruin myself. I mean, it's beautiful, it's amazing, but I just need to.
So you consider baklava to be like Tunisian or Moroccan or whatever?
Oh, I think it's all of us. We all own that together. Honestly, I'm not going to say who owns that.
Actually, loads
You know
of
what?
people claim it, man. Albanians, Turks, Syrians.
Yeah, Allah knows best. You know what? Yeah, I don't. Yeah, we've all got our own things, and I've noticed that Algeria has the same sweets that Tunisia has, but Algeria is like supersized. When you go to America and it's like, I want the supersized meal.
Really?
That's basically Algeria. Yeah, it's like we honestly, because I remember going there, and even when my family met, my in-laws, and we had that kind of crossover, it was like, oh, we've got this, but like we just have like small versions of them. You guys just make one bigger.
That's that oil money, bro.
Alhamdulillah. Bigger, baby.
Oh, by the way, the other day here, I heard a couple guys talking, and I was like, that is exactly a Tunisian accent.
Yeah.
But I think they were Libyan.
Yeah.
There must be Libyans with similar accent because it's next door to you. There's loads of Libyans here, by the way. I don't know about Tunisia.
I suppose a lot of Libyans kind of fled the country.
Yeah, exactly.
Hard times,
Exactly.
May Allah safeguard us in our countries, bro. May Allah make them all like Turkey and better. How about that?
Better, inshallah.
Inshallah.
Okay, this was episode 106. If you want to ask questions about this topic, about any topic, or give us feedback or whatever, go to mindhousepodcast.com. I edited that page slightly to include links to the Instagram and the YouTube, the new YouTube channel as well. So
alhamdulillah.
You saw that, yeah?
I did check
spying on me, yeah.
Checking the links and that. Doing my regular checks.
Yeah, and of course we've got the new YouTube channel where the videos go now. So that's where you'll find the videos, and the audio's in the same place. So yeah, next see you next time, inshallah. Subhanakallah wa bihamdik, shadu an la ilaha illa anta, astaghfiruka wa atubu ilayk. Assalamu alaikum.